Hello, my fellow nerds, and welcome to the Nerd Empire. I hope you all are having a fantastic day today, and I hope you all will enjoy today's reaction video. With that being said, let's get right into it, shall we? We have a video here by the lovely Sydney Watson, and this one is called "The WNBA is Completely Collapsing." Well, see, the only reason the WNBA still exists is because of the NBA is financially supporting it. It is nothing but a financial black hole. Without the NBA, the WNBA wouldn't even have lasted this long, sadly. So, let's see what the video is about.
Shock horror. Our least favorite kind of people are crying again. Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. For most of you, I have to imagine this will be the one and only time that you care about women's basketball. Also, considering the topic of this video is this shirt on
I never really cared about basketball in the first place, so why would I care about women's basketball?
the nose? Yes, it is. Do I care? No, I don't. Actually, the last time I wore this shirt in a video, a bunch of women were like, where's that from? Where can I get one? This is mine. They're on my website. And the other thing, actually, you guys have been asking too, is people are like, where is this from? Because I wore this little guy in a video recently. This is also mine. These are my Hell Gondola shirts. They're embroidered. And actually, there's some wording on the sleeves as well that I don't have. This was an early prototype. But yeah, they're all on my website. So if I'm ever wearing something you're like, where is that from? There's a really high chance that it's from my own website. As a total aside, I would actually love to go back to making you guys merch and fun things again, but I hate not having control over the process. I like doing my own shipping. I like doing my own manufacturing, and it's just really, really hard to do that en masse. So I think I would probably have to do like limited drops. Actually, you know what, while we're talking about this was another little thing I had made that I thought, oh, this could be really cool, like, you know, we could maybe do these as a limited drop. And this has these little glasses in it. I'm not sure if you can see that, my fat head's in the way, but it says welcome back to hell, and then has a little Hell Gondola guy on it. So yeah, if this is something that would be of interest, do let me know, because I love doing stuff like this, but doing the manufacturing is the hardest part, and I would need to see how many people want one. You'd actually have to commit to it, and then I would have to go ahead and get them made.
I have wanted to try ordering some of the tea products that she has, because some of them do actually sound pretty delicious.
Because I hate doing drop shipping. Anyway, for those who are not familiar, there's an entire saga unfolding in the land of women's sports once again, because yes, you guessed correctly, a woman decided to stand up for women and female spaces. And that woman is now getting lambasted by other women because she doesn't support transgender people in female spaces. I genuinely thought we were done with all of this, but apparently not. Sophie Cunningham, who many of you will probably know from this video, and honestly, this is where I'm at emotionally most of the time, recently got herself in hot water because she had the audacity to say that women and girls should be protected.
Sophie Cunningham protecting women's sports is common sense, reiterates transgender comment.
The WNBA, the Women's Basketball League, has not backed her up, but instead actually attacked her, more or less. And things have gotten so silly that we now have a bunch of men saying that they will try.
2 ex-NBA players turned transgender identity into a stunt. The WNBA is responding. A task force of team presidents and general managers will add the question of eligibility to their agenda. Yeah, because of course they will.
Out for the WNBA in April of 2027. Because I want all of you to have a full picture, I am going to tell you this story chronologically, because from start to finish, this entire situation is so stupid. But if you do want to skip ahead to the most new information, that'll be towards the middle/end of this video, so I will forgive you if you do that. So all of this started back in 2022 when Sophie Cunningham retweeted a post made by a sports commentator at CBS. The post basically said that collegiate athletes deserve better, with reference to Leah Thomas, the trans-identified male who was participating in women's sports at the time, and women's swimming more specifically. Of course, people kicked off at Cunningham for this retweet, and she ended up tweeting something about peace and love and equality for all. Fast forward to June 2026, and ESPN published a profile story about Cunningham, where she more or less confirmed her position on men in women's sports. She said that while she's gotten a lot of unfair criticism about hating trans people, which she said that she's never actually spoken about, she does go on to say that she wants to protect girls in the locker room, and young girls shouldn't have to compete against males. This, of course,
I mean, she's not wrong. Women shouldn't have to play, their sport with transgender women because they're essentially playing with a biological man, and biological men have basically almost every single advantage over women when it comes to sports. Strength, speed, coordination, all this stuff. Men have a huge advantage over women. And women's sports should only be for biological women. And for anyone to say that a transgender woman should be allowed in women's sports is a fucking retard. Because you're actively putting women at a disadvantage when you do that. You're also disregarding any and all hard work that these women have put in to the sport that they have decided to go into. They'll try to put words in our mouth when they've put far more questionable things in their own. Yeah.
course, went about as well as you'd expect, and immediately she was getting called transphobic. I mean, who isn't at this point when you have these sort of people running around?
My baguette is almost ready to be turned into a ham sandwich.
This fucker needs to be completely deleted off the fucking internet.
And there are two main ways that the chef, if that's what you want to call it.
It's amazing that he hasn't been put on any sort of list yet, considering he does this shit around children.
Column could turn this into this.
We had completely normal reactions to her, like this.
This jersey used to represent someone I respected as an athlete. Today it represents something I can't support anymore. Sports have the power.
Like, oh my god, I can't support this person anymore because,
to bring people together, but when someone uses their platform to demonize or marginalize an already vulnerable community, I have to decide
Vulnerable community? Vulnerable my ass.
where I stand. So today I'm not burning a person, I'm burning my support. As a trans woman, I've spent years fighting just to exist authentically.
I will never understand how these people
And you are existing authentically. You're just deciding to have something else represented as your identity instead of your own identity representing your identity.
think this is some sort of a win for their side. Like, I am begging you people to be normal. But despite the monumental freakout, Cunningham didn't back down, which we love to see. I also think that she's been throwing shade at the WNBA, which is even funnier, but we'll get back to that. A few days after
What's
the
this? Nishi Echo, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the Nerd Empire.
ESPN article went live, Cunningham said in another interview that she said what she said, and protecting girls and women in sport was incredibly important to her.
I'm not a very political person, but I do have beliefs, I have morals, and I'll always stand on those and be true to who I am. And I think people are going to take it how they want to take it, but I've never even really said anything about that. And so when it comes just to protecting young girls in sport and women in sport, I feel very strongly about that. I think that's why you have Title IX. That's why you have some of the greats in women's sports. If Title IX and women's sports weren't protected, then you wouldn't hear about any type of women in sport. And so I think in the future, it's just really important to protect.
Up until this point, I would say that this situation was just a pretty normal culture wars type thing where you have a celebrity type figure doing or saying something that inflames either the left or the right. Then you have a big blow up
Akira World 14, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the Nerd Empire.
about it. Then it fades away and is replaced by the next celebrity idiot person doing or saying something stupid. But this situation has continued to spiral, and it's led to a bunch of coaches and even the WNBA co-owner getting involved and just making everything worse. Although this is not the only thing being
It's amazing they're keeping... I mean, I don't have a problem with them keeping the NBA going, but how it's amazing that they're keeping it going considering how much of a financial black hole the WNBA is.
Made worse at the moment. We make ourselves worse when we do things that are bad for us, like smoking and vaping, which is why you need to hear about the sponsor of today's video, Fume.
Ad.
I would just
It's a
skin
sponsor
you and wear you
ad.
as a skin suit to go and scare little
Hi! I didn't see you there, but it's good you're here because I've been meaning to talk to you. I've actually been thinking about you a lot, you see. I'm getting older. Well, you're getting older. But the reality at this point is that only one of us continues to smoke and vape, which you know isn't good for you. You know it's very expensive. You know it's sending you to an early grave. We're going into a recession. Do you even have money for this? So I just want to know why you're doing this to me, to yourself, to us. Why are you doing this when I have a much better option for you? And that option is Fume, which is this incredibly cool little device that can be your handy friend when it comes to defeating smoking and vaping. Fume works by inserting these little flavored cores, and you simply breathe in the yummy flavored air. There are no toxins, no chemicals, no heating components, because this bad boy is not a vape. Fume's team is genuinely dedicated to giving you the best experience possible, which is why they've continued to expand their products with multiple device types, like this sleek Solano Fume, very pretty. They have a magnetic base that allows you to house your Fume when you're not using it, and they even have these little mouth toppers that have a nicer feel when you're using them. But best of all, they have a huge range of delicious flavors for you to choose from. You just pick your favorite.
Those look like flavored condom packs.
Pop a core in, and you are good to go. Personally, I like the crisp mint, but I also like these grapefruit ones. I think that it's so cute that they're pink, but they also smell and taste so good. I freaking love grapefruit. So if you are finally ready to give up and stop these bad habits, then click the link in the description, scan the QR code on screen, or go to tryfume.com/Sydney. And of course, don't forget to use code Sydney to get your free Fume topper when you order a journey pack. Towards the very end of July 2026, two teenage girls attended a game, wore XXXY shirts, which is a brand that supports biological reality, I guess, and they also held a sign thanking Cunningham for speaking up for girls. The Seattle Storm co-owner, a woman called Celeste Keaton, confronted the teenagers and allegedly called them effing insane, which she...
I mean, if insane means that they're supporting biological reality, then yes, they're insane, because they're supporting fucking reality. And the fact that you don't like reality it says more about you than it does the teenage girls.
He ultimately had to apologize for doing because, well, I don't know, I guess abusing your customers probably isn't the best course of action. But apparently the Seattle Storm team is generally, I guess, like off the rails, because they posted a photo of one of their players wearing a "Trans rights are human rights" shirt on their main timeline. So, you know.
She kind of looks like somebody who doesn't want to wear the shirt.
There is that. Then we also had the coach of the Golden State Valkyries weigh in. And just by the way, I think that this name is unearned valor. None of you are Valkyries. You are buttholes from what I can tell, but that's neither here nor there. This woman apparently said that
Yeah, Valkyries are honorable. These people don't seem to be.
sports are all about belonging and inclusivity, because of course she did.
How I'm seeing it is, if I could answer with, like, for me, sports is about belonging. It's about inclusivity. It's about allowing everyone to be their authentic self.
Not everything in existence needs diversity and inclusivity. I have said that for a long time now, and I will continue to say that. Not everything in reality needs diversity and inclusivity, especially sports. You can be inclusive and diverse when it comes to race and religion and all that, but when it comes to biological sex, you cannot be inclusive when it comes to women's sports, because women should be the only ones allowed in women's sports. And when I say women, I mean biological women, you transgender fucktard.
I'm big on that, just because I have been criticized for my height, for my ethnicity. I've been in those "you shouldn't belong here" many times. And for me, I don't want that space, especially Golden State, to ever feel like that. So I'm all about women,
Valkyries.
little girls deserve.
Valkyrie's kind of canonically a bio-female only club. Yeah. You can't be a trans person and be a Valkyrie, because Valkyries are women, exclusively women, who usher the, if I remember correctly, they're the ones that usher the souls of Viking warriors to Valhalla, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not really fully knowledgeable about Norse mythology, but that's pretty much what they are and what they do.
To play, and that includes trans women. So I'm all about inclusivity.
The coach of Sophie Cunningham's own team, Indiana Fever, refused to back her, once again parroting this bullshit about inclusion being the answer to
I forget which Norse goddess was the leader of the Valkyries. I can't remember who it was.
everything.
What is your stance on men or athletes who test as biological male participating in women's sports? What's your personal stance?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I would say that I'm educated enough from a scientific standpoint. I don't ever believe that exclusion is an answer. There weren't girl sports.
Would you welcome a biological male in WNBA?
Again, it's like, I don't know.
You should know, because it's common fucking sense. Biological men do not belong and should not be included in women's sports.
When we talk about biological male and scientifically where we are, I think it's a totally different scenario.
This woman is retarded. Brunhilde? Okay.
I would say, though, that I just don't feel like exclusion is an answer, and I think that we need to have deeper, more layered conversations.
Exclusion and gatekeeping is the answer. Plain and simple.
I think the thing that really sends me to Jupiter about these kind of situations, and the fact that we keep having to talk about the trans issue, is the fact that these kind of people talk about inclusivity and all this kind of stuff, and we have to have everybody feeling involved and connected, while simultaneously disadvantaging women and girls and making women and girls feel unsafe and uncomfortable. These women, the ones that I've highlighted so far, except for Sophie obviously, are genuinely the worst advocates for us, for women and girls. And it's actually kind of crazy to me that they have so much pull and responsibility over a female-only space like this. But remember...
Brunhilde. I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Brunhilde. I think. How is it actually pronounced? Oh, Brunhilde. I think that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. Who was that? Concerned Weeble? Concerned Weeby, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Nerd Empire. It's generally pronounced Brynhilde in English. Yeah, Brunhilde. It's yeah. Brunhilde. All right, we got that out of the way. We got distracted there.
Remember how I said that I think that Sophie Cunningham has been taking jabs at the league? She did another press interview
How you doing,
where she said
Weeby?
that this league preaches diversity and inclusion. So
How you doing?
this is a great opportunity for them to be just that.
And like I said, I still stand by what I said. I'll never go back on that. I think this is a great opportunity for the WNBA. They preach diversity and being inclusive, so what a great opportunity for them to actually be that.
But where other people thought she was referring to trans people or whoever, I think she's calling them out for hurting women and girls and excluding us from our own spaces. Anyway, so all of this was taking place towards the end of July. But now we're in August. And August has been very fun. We had another coach wearing a trans kids belong
I hope you're doing
shirt
well today,
because, then Sophie Cunningham basically begged everybody to get back to playing basketball and to stop all of this nonsense. But here is where it gets extremely hilarious to me, or sad, depending on your perspective. On August 7, 2026, the WNBA Players Association released a statement denouncing hate, abuse, and demonization of the transgender community.
Now, let's see here. A message from WNBPA player leadership. To everyone who loves this game, the WNBPA represents 200 plus individual people with different lived experiences, cultures, lifestyles, and opinions. We embrace justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. Those are the values that unite this union and allow it to protect women's sports while creating transformational change. Hate, abuse, and demonization of any person or group of people, including transgender people, only fuel fear, division, and harm. We will continue to have hard conversations, but we will not be used as political pawns. Support the players, support the fans at games. Notify security if you witness hateful, violent, or abusive behavior. Online, report abusive posts and drown out the bots and bad actors. At home, tell your elected officials to strengthen Title IX. Some reason my OBS decided to minimize itself. Found your Twitch through your YouTube. Oh, well, thank you. Welcome to the Twitch side. Respectfully, toxic masculinity is a big problem for the people of the trans women community. Well, the thing is, masculinity in and of itself, just like femininity in and of itself, is not toxic. It's the people within it. So toxic masculinity is not an actual thing. It's the people within it that are toxic. Because masculinity is not toxic. Neither is femininity. It's just the dipshits who are in it. Okay. It's like, I'm looking at it's like, I don't think that person is meaning that. No, Title IX is a landmark federal civil rights law. It prohibits sex-based discrimination in any school or any other education program that receives funding from the federal government. Huh. Like science or a tool, neither is inherently evil. Yeah. I don't know. I don't get these people. Look, I understand to not discriminate somebody based on their gender or race, religion, creed, or anything like that. I can understand that because it's respectful not to do that. But it's very disrespectful to allow trans people a trans woman into women's sports because you're just showing that you do not care about the actual women.
Because, you know, that's super necessary for a sporting body to do that. The statement didn't name anyone and didn't make any sort of comments.
And don't worry, Nishi. You're fine. You're fine.
It's about actual men in women's sports, but it did ask fans to report any hateful rhetoric at games. Whatever that means. On the same day, and maybe this was a coincidence, maybe it wasn't, the WNBA announced that it was going to get its important people together and decide what a woman actually is and...
Yes, because we have no idea what a woman is. Why? How can you not know what a fucking woman is? A woman is the person who gave birth to your dumbass. I'm guessing your mother who birthed you smoked and drank and that's the reason why you're so fucking retarded.
Who was allowed to play in their league. We live in hell. WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert sent out a memo basically saying that the WNBA higher-ups will discuss the matter of transgender people and women's basketball at a meeting this week.
Yeah, that whole Boy Scouts thing was so fucking dumb. Now it's just the Scouts. You don't need to apologize, Nishi. It's all good. And I thought that was so dumb. It's like, what's wrong with having Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts? Why do both need to be combined? Why can't both exist? Now it's just the Scouts. It's like, you don't understand. Men and women are different. They will never be the same no matter what you do. We are biologically different. We are mentally different. We are physically different. In no way, shape, or form are we the same. We both need different things growing up.
Like this week as of filming this video. As of right now, the league does say that only women are allowed to play and are eligible to play in the WNBA, but that doesn't actually specify what a woman is, and as that's coming out of my mouth, I want to cry. It is just stupid that we're even here at all. I weep for the future. Anyway, basically, the league doesn't say that you actually have to be female.
Considering that they're letting trans women into women's sports, I think it's sad because it probably deters a lot of young women who want to grow up to be like a basketball player, a softball player, or go into the Olympics or any woman's sport, because they have no idea if the woman beside them is a trans woman, and then at that point they're at a severe disadvantage. It's like a huge deterrent to women who want to be an athlete, because now they have to complete with a biological man who by all rights is going to beat them anyways. Yeah, like there was I think it was like quite a few years ago, there was a trans woman UFC fighter who fought against a biological woman and put her in the hospital. She looked like she went 5 rounds with a fucking wrecking ball. It's like, you need to understand, we are so much more powerful than a woman that it's not even funny. The amount of damage we as men can do is it's not funny at all. It's actually quite horrific what men are physically capable of.
But it also doesn't have a policy on transgender participation. So it's sort of up in the air depending on if somebody does or doesn't want to make an issue out of this. And I guess that people want to make an issue out of it. But because of all of the leagues talking and its insistence upon being diverse and inclusive and not defining what a woman is and who can play in their league, now we have 2 beautiful, strong former NBA basketballers who've thrown their hat in the ring to play in the women's league. A few days ago, former NBA center Enes, who's, I'm sorry if I'm saying his name wrong, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, Cantor Freedom, I think his last name is actually Freedom, that is mental, okay. He declared himself a 2027 WNBA prospect. On Twitter, he wrote, "If simply declaring who you are is all that's required, then I meet every single requirement necessary to compete in the WNBA."
Let's actually read this entire thing. After careful consideration and reviewing the current eligibility guidelines, I'm officially declaring myself a WNBA prospect. Interesting. It's if simply declaring who you are is all that is required, then I meet every single requirement necessary to compete in the WNBA. My team and I have carefully examined the WNBA's eligibility criteria and governing framework surrounding self-identification and inclusion. Based on the current guidelines, I can and am officially declaring my eligibility for the upcoming WNBA draft in April of 2027. I love the sarcasm in this. They phrase it so well. I love how it's dripping with sarcasm. It's fucking hilarious.
My team and I have carefully examined the WNBA's eligibility criteria and governing framework surrounding self-identification and inclusion. Based on the current guidelines, I can and am officially declaring my eligibility for the upcoming WNBA draft in April 2027.
I am definitely not here to mock, make fun of, or disrespect any community or personal choices. I am simply asking that the current rules be applied equally to everyone. The rules that represent the very values many WNBA players and coaches have publicly advocated for. My team and I are prepared to ensure these guidelines are applied equally, consistently, and without exception. And I look forward to the WNBA honoring its stated principles. See you at training camp.
As of August,
I love this guy. You know, if they can't determine what a woman is, then how are they able to determine what a man is? Can they determine what a man is? Yes? Then you can goddamn jolly well determine what a fucking woman is.
August 10th, Cantor Freedom has officially declared for the WNBA draft. So there is that.
Well, it's officially official. I just declared for the 2027 WNBA draft in April. Join me in this journey.
But let's also not forget this beautiful, strong woman, Royce White, who also said he would try his hand at the WNBA in April 2027 as well.
I love how all these people are fucking mocking the WNBA. It's so wonderful.
Oh,
earlier this week I made the announcement. I'm transgender. I'm a woman. I identify as sometimes identifying as a woman.
He's going with his very deep voice in this one. I identify as a trans woman. I'm going into the WNBA. I am steamrolling through all these people. Ha ha ha.
For purposes of basketball, professional basketball. So I'll be declaring for the WNBA draft in 2027 as well. So I do a little bit of everything. I'll do whatever the coach needs me to do. I'll do whatever the girls need me to do.
Roy Cena is very determined to get on the court with her other black queens.
You know, right now I'm just having a blast in my feminine era. I never thought that I was a woman. You know, I've always trusted the science, and I thought I was a man my entire life. But you know, after further review, strong look at my personal preferences, it would appear that I am indeed sometimes identifying as a transgender woman, and I think it's only fair I get a chance to play with some of my queens here in the twilight of my career, my athletic prime.
Personally, this is my favorite video of Roy Cena, where she shows how strong and brave she is while discussing going on airplanes, and she's not afraid of them. She's just transgender.
I realized my fear of flying really wasn't a fear of flying. It was the transgender trapped inside of me, caged inside of me, that gave me an aversion to small spaces. I think there are plenty of people out there who have
that makes perfect sense.
I love how he's playing along with this.
Gender trapped deep down inside of them, and so they think they're
every one of you.
claustrophobic.
No. Every one of you do. Let's just be.
Yeah, but they think they're
He's trying so hard not to smile.
claustrophobic. Not really claustrophobic. It's the transgender that's trapped.
Anyway, it's been
Choked on my peanut butter.
extremely fun reading Roy Cena's posts on Twitter. He's just, hammering anyone who calls him out for this, basically saying that they're being transphobic and naming him and dismissing him. This one is definitely my personal favorite. It says, "It came, y'all, my first wig. Tomorrow I test it on the court. This is my feminine era glow up.
Oh,
Did
God.
I slay? If y'all don't say yes, queen, you're transphobic. I really don't understand all the hatred. I just want to play some hoops with my fellow ladies." Now, as you can imagine, leftists have been losing their
Royce White and Ennis Cantor Freedom will never get drafted in the WNBA because they're busted old losers. This makes no sense from a basketball perspective. This is too damn good.
absolute minds about this entire situation from top to bottom, because remember, it's okay when they push men into women's spaces, but it's not okay when right-wingers do it. You see the difference here?
The truth is trans women are women, and so if they would like to play women's sports, then that would be something that they should do as women.
A few former NBA first-round picks came out yesterday and declared for the WNBA draft. Are you supportive of them?
Yeah, so if they truly were trans, then I would be perhaps supportive of them, but they're not.
Who determines who's really a woman, though?
I would
She can't answer that.
say I would love to see them play against Asia Wilson and beat her. I doubt they would. So thank you so much.
I love when you
Yep, she instantly got caught with that fucking question.
ask these people to do just even the slightest bit of ideological consistency. Trans
None of these people have critical thinking skills. None. Hi, sure.
women are women, except the trans women that I don't like. I see why Roy Cena is so upset.
Two washed-up former NBA players have announced that they're declaring for the WNBA draft. And I'm not saying their names. This is an attention stunt, and they can get their attention somewhere else.
They're doing it. They're showing you how ridiculous you people are, and you see how ridiculous it is, but you refuse to acknowledge the ridiculousness. They're using your own logic against you, and you don't like it.
But what I find absolutely fascinating is who is cheering them on. Because these are the same people who've spent years telling
Donald Trump Jr. weighs in on WNBA trans carnage and insists ex-NBA star will break every record. She is going to make a spectacular player.
Us that trans women can't play women's sports because they consider them to be men, and men are bigger and stronger and would be dangerous and unfair to women. And now
That's because it's biologically true. We are bigger, we are stronger, and we are dangerous to women physically, yes. It's true. It's biology.
two actual cisgender men say they want to play in the WNBA, and these fools are now going, yeah, do it. Get in there and destroy them. Smash all their records. Hello? I thought you cared about protecting women's sports.
And I thought you people cared about protecting women's sports, but no, you say that trans men are okay, or trans women are okay in joining them. The moment you said that you were okay with trans women joining women's sports or the WNBA, that is the moment you instantly told the world that you do not care about protecting women and their rights in the sports.
The funniest thing about this whole issue is how these people...
I'm taking bets on if they do get in, they get dildos thrown at them. Just see a bunch of floppy dildos thrown on the WNBA court. You know, these people are miserable because they don't know how to have a sense of humor. Selective participation.
Genuinely don't understand what's happening here. Right-wingers aren't supporting white and Cantor Freedom because we want men in women's sports. We support it because it forces the WNBA to reconcile with their political posturing and gay little slogans. Oh, diversity and inclusion and tolerance. Okay, put your money where your mouth is then. If you are going to collectively flame a single player who is standing up for women's rights so that you can virtue signal how you feel about transgenderism, then put some men in the league. Put some trans women in the league.
Really all this proves is that you can't trust cis straight men, which women have been saying for years. That's why we choose the bear.
I find the bear choosing women to be really quite fascinating because, sure, you'll choose the bear, but you also will choose infinity third worlders through mass immigration and also men in your spaces. Make it make sense. What's kind of crazy to me here is how many people on the left have completely memory holed what they've been doing for the last 10 years.
Trans women are women. Punching down on trans women is anti-feminist and anti-women. It's not anti-anything because punching down on trans women is showing that they're fucking ridiculous.
Or so. And I'm not sure how many of you have seen this, but it's sort of like AOC now walking back woke one, quote unquote, and being like, oh, that stuff we used to do, yeah, that's just so crazy. Even though all of you supported it at the time.
So Rice White, the failed Minnesota candidate and the failed NBA.
Oh, Rice White was a Minnesota candidate? I didn't know that. My fellow Minnesotan.
NBA player now wants to pretend to be a woman and compete with women in the WNBA.
Damn, lady, that fucking forehead.
I'm
sorry, I don't know where that came from.
Creates a fake problem and then is so mad that the problem's not real that they become the problem just to prove that the problem
Holy shit, look at her hairline.
Exists.
If it's not clear at this juncture, this person is in fact transgender, but I think it's an insane position, and I've seen this a lot.
She has a bigger forehead than Dwayne Johnson.
Lately. It's an insane position to say that right-wingers created this situation. All of you did. For the last decade, all of you have created this situation.
She could rent that forehead for advertisement.
By you, by the way, I mean these kind of people, the progressives and the LGBT people and the trans community. You did this to yourselves. Anyway, what always strikes me about these situations is just how quickly progressives will flip on their own positions. Because, as most of you know, as we have discussed for years on this channel, these are the same people who have, for probably the better part of a decade, pushed self-ID, people self-identifying as trans or non-binary or whatever the case is.
Your move.
They have consistently
play
and
tic-tac-toe on that
aggressively
forehead.
encouraged men in
She could land a plane on that forehead. Call it SJR International Airport.
Eating women's spaces, all women's spaces, just by the way, so long as that man self-identifies as a woman. Activists have consistently said and disgustingly gotten this kind of thing picked up by the medical industry, by the justice system, by lots of other institutions and systems. They've said that being a woman is nothing more than a feeling. It's this sort of intangible concept, which is insane, just by the way. But they've gotten us to the point where that's an accepted talking point, and so therefore a man doesn't actually have to go through any kind of transition processes to become a woman. He just has to feel like one. But even progressives don't apply their standards consistently, because if they did, they would have to support these men going out for the WNBA. But as always, they pick and choose when and where to apply their principles, because consistency matters not to those led by their feelings rather than any kind of reason. Obviously, I don't want men in
The fact that the medical industry adopted this is mind-boggling for me. Yeah, the fact that there are doctors who believe this shit is just atrocious.
female spaces at all. I am over this. It's been happening for, like I said, the better part of a decade. I'm sick of it. And it's kind of funny because a lot of you girlies actually made me feel really validated recently, where I was saying, you know, I started off kind of indifferent to a lot of this, and I used to be a lot more moderate in videos when I talk about this, and these days I'm like, no, get out, I don't like it. And a lot of the girly pops got in my comments and said, no, Sydney, I agree with you. I used to also be tolerant and moderate and blah, 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 and now I want these men out completely. The tolerance is dead and gone. And I think that's what happens when you take really pretty nice people and tolerant people and moderate people and push them to the precipice. You end up burning us out, and we're not interested anymore. But with that said, it's not as if I want the WNBA to fall in a heap, but I do want the women who advocate for this, I want their feet held to the fire. I want these co-owners and these coaches and all these people to understand that their positions are regressive, they're hurting women, they're disadvantaging women, and I want them to actually see the fruit of what they are promoting. So yes, obviously, I don't want men invading the women's league here, but if this is going to be the case and this is going to happen, I do think this is a tremendous way of forcing these virtue signaling butthead women to either practice what they preach or stop preaching altogether. Despite the fact that she hasn't actually said a ton about this, I am actually really grateful that Sophie Cunningham has said something with relation to protecting women and girls. I'm so glad that she hasn't walked back her comments or apologized, that she's standing firm, because I do think that goes a really long way in waking up other women and having them realize that you don't actually have to accept what's been happening to us wholesale. You're allowed to push back. You're allowed to be uncomfortable with men in our spaces, and you're allowed to feel a certain type of way about the way things have been going. I'm also glad that these men have done what they're doing, because now there's actually a ton of them that I've seen who are like, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring to join the WNBA, to be drafted for the WNBA. I'm glad that this is happening, because I think when you show the absurdity of these positions and the net effect of these positions, it really highlights on a massive scale just how stupid all of this is. So in the end, I am really curious to see where this goes and how this turns out, and I genuinely hope that Sophie Cunningham keeps speaking out and that other women start to speak out as well, because the best way to handle these kind of situations and these kind of people is to shine a light and force them to actually do something when it comes to the things that they're preaching. Now on that note, and before I open the floor to all of you, this is just a reminder to check out Fume using the link in the description. As you know, they've been a long-time supporter of this channel, and so if you are somebody who has been struggling with smoking or vaping, you want to quit, you're done with it, absolutely check them out. I think that they are such a cool option without having to do the gum and the stickers and all that kind of stuff. Now I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Are you on my side of this issue, where you don't love the idea of women's spaces being invaded by men, even if they're trying to prove the point, but you get why they're proving the point, and you think that this is objectively probably a good thing in the long run? everyone. What do you think of all the drama here? Is it just so stupid and blown out of proportion? Is it fair? Do you think we're going to have a sea change with relation to all of this? Did you think, like me, that the trans issue was sort of dead and gone, and why are we resurrecting this and bringing this up again? What do you think of Sophie Cunningham's comments? Are you glad she made them? Do you think she was out of line? And what you generally make of this issue overall? As always, if you have made it this far in the video, congratulations. I always like having you along for the full ride. If you are new here, you're not subscribed already, and you would like to see more of me and more of this kind of content, feel free to subscribe to the channel, as well as leaving this video a like and a comment, because I do read the majority of them and I like hearing your feedback. Like I always say, my beautiful little chickadee noodle people, I hope you stay safe and well and make good choices and don't melt in the summer heat if you are here on my side of the planet. If you're on the other side of the planet, I hope you're all nice and rugged up. I'm very jealous of you, but I will see your beautiful little faces in the next video.
Yeah, that was a fun video. These people are just completely nuts. They're hopeless. They'll never amount to anything. Well, that is the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give a like and subscribe. I post videos 3 to 5 days a week here. I also post videos over on my other channel for gaming as well, so please make sure to give that a look-see, see if you enjoy that as well. I also stream anywhere from 3 to 5 days a week as well. Links to all my social medias will be on my YouTube page. And with that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.